Alrighty, well, my leg pretty much fixed up. That was the tendonitis I had that wouldn't really allow me to tilt my foot very much. I seem to have a few recurring muscular problems, and I have a few theories on it. Often enough I'll have my legs bent in bed just so that my feet aren't hanging out the end of the blanket and getting cold. Then at one point I'll go to straighten my legs up and often put my hamstring out of place. And I almost done that yet again while my right leg was stuffed up. It often seems to be my right hamstring. And get out of it! Cats are playing with clothes that I've got hanging on the hooks for drying over there. And yeah, I could feel it was about to twang the other day, so I straightened my leg again straight away, and it didn't happen. But the other one is my shoulder blades will sometimes, muscle will pop out there. You wouldn't believe it. I think it may be something to do with having woken up in the cold sometimes, but generally I believe it's to do with not drinking enough water, which causes a lot of cramps. And I used to drink at least 2 cups of tea before going to bed. I don't do that anymore, and then I keep getting cramps. And I know that cramps are directly related to the water content in your muscles. Yeah, as I was saying, you wouldn't believe it, but my shoulder blade's stuffed up, my left shoulder blade, cracking eggs over the frying pan this morning. Couldn't believe it. Wasn't too bad. I thought it might be all right. When I got to work, we've got to have a shower before we get in case we're being licked by cats or something that could have some disease that transfers to a pig. So I thought, well, won't be a problem. I'll have a hot shower at work and it'll probably come all right again. And it wasn't too bad to begin with. And then, well, I started doing a few things at work, and then I went to put a bit of duct tape over, well, the feed line that has a little gap in a certain place that's been pissing out a lot of feed dust. And put my arms up and pop, flipping out it went for real. Oh, shit. So I didn't get much done aside from mop 1 or 2 floors and then go to feed the pigs, and I went to refill the feed system, and that's when I went to put tape on just before I went to refill it. And yeah, that was great. But I have a little thing which I bought a while ago. You guys may remember, probably not, but you may, and I'm laying on it right now. And well, I don't know if you can see it. There's a black thing. It's basically a car seat cover. Oh, there's a little cable going up there. Oh, we're upside down. That's up there where I got the, what's his name, 12 volt cigarette lighter plug that I usually charge my tablets on, that little shelf you can see there. And yeah, she comes down, and I don't know if you can see that one there. Little box with a switch on it. It goes straight in, and I'll tell you what, she's working pretty good. Oh, it's the heat's surging through. I don't know if it's covering my arse because I've got tracky suit pants on that are pretty... Oh yeah, it's heating my arse up as well. Sometimes it's hard to feel when you wear thicker clothing because it takes a long time for the heat to transfer through. That's what I noticed with my Milwaukee electric coat. If you're wearing a shirt and a jumper and then you put that on over the top, it takes a while for the heat to transfer through, as opposed to if you're just wearing a shirt. But I've got a cotton drill shirt on, and I can feel the heat roaring through the back with this thing. Oh, this is good. This is real good. I think it's actually probably producing more heat than the Milwaukee jacket because, well, the Milwaukee jacket's got the heating inside and then like your insulation. Not a great deal, but it's got insulation like your normal basic jacket has. on the outer side, and then your inner side is where you got your electric part to keep your heat in. This has got no insulation at all, but I reckon it's putting through probably slightly more heat with no insulation at all, so it's pretty good. I know that unless you've got a wind turbine or something like a Peltier generator, thermoelectric generator, I've been looking into getting, and I might do this, get a Devil Watt, they're called, and it's basically you hook them onto your stovepipe and you generate, anything from 15 watts up to 70 watts for the new model, depending on what type you get. They're either air-cooled or water-cooled. I'm considering getting one, which will help me be able to use something like this, or even a normal electric blanket during the winter. So that when the wood stove goes out in the early hours of the morning, all I've got to do is lean over and go flick and turn a little switch on and I've got heat. But I tell you what, this thing right now is pretty good. And in case you guys didn't remember, I've got the little semi-portable solar rig that I rejigged from the cardboard house with a 40-watt panel on instead of a 60-watt panel, instead of a 20-watt panel. 20-watt panel's sitting in the laundry. Oh, this is good. But I may actually go and stick this underneath my outer cover, my normal, like the normal sheet. I got fitted sheets. I've actually got two in case dirt gets through one. And then I've got like another plain sheet underneath that. But in between one fitted sheet and the other, I might stick this thing and just have the battery, a little blue Full River sealed battery, and its little rig right beside the bed, and then every day just sort of take it back to the solar panel, mount the solar panel on the veranda or something like that, and just plug it in and let it recharge during the day. So I can have some warmth in the early mornings when the wood heater goes out. I always wanted something like a 12-volt electric blanket, which is why I kept that 15-volt one that my mum decided to fold real tightly 4 times after I said you absolutely must leave it flat because it was made in the 70s and it's likely to break a wire. And it did break a wire, didn't it? And she said, can you fix it? And I said, no, that's exactly why I wanted you to leave it laying flat. But that was a 15-volt system. And I suspect that I could have just, basically rejigged the plug. I had a plug much like the old phone system jacks around here. And I could have just bought one of them, which I've actually got a number of them spare, and rejigged it to a cigarette lighter plug, which I've also got a number spare, and try to run the 15-volt blanket through 12-volt system. But I've basically got a 12-volt electric blanket, and I'm glad I bought this. This is the one I bought at the bankruptcy sale of the dollar story Chinese junk place. Same place I got those heaps and heaps of wood clamps from, which you probably saw during the prickly pear video. I was using one to hold the blowtorch because it's so damn long and heavy. But yeah, it sounds like a plan, and I may go get me a little blue battery and rig it up, and hopefully kitty cats don't decide to start playing with the cables. They're pretty good with that now. They're not biting cables and pissing around anymore. But oh, this is good. I don't know what the wattage is. I'll try and look. I didn't find any instructions in the box, but it might be some slip down the bottom. It's not on the tag what the wattage is. I can tell because of the charge controller on that blue battery. What you do is you let it charge up, the battery, and then it gets to like float charge. Then what you do is you'll notice the current on the incoming current from the panel will drop back to 0.2 amps. It's actually almost 0 amps, but it'll show 0.2 amps. And then what you do is you plug something in, and then boom, it throws the amps up. What the amps are that it's getting in from the panel, but you've got to wait till it more or less hits float. I can do the same thing with a solar fridge. So yeah, I might be able to work out that from a bit of calculations and looking at the charge controller. I'd say it wouldn't be much more than 15 watts anyway. Lucky to even be... Oh. No, it wouldn't even be that. The 15 volt one was 15 watts on low. It's probably only 10 watts or something, so... Yeah.